Hey, what's up guys, it's Jukes, and welcome to the updated 4-1-2-1-2 diamond guide. So this is the narrow 4-1-2-1-2, so it's not the one with the left mid and right mid. But as you guys know, this would be like the fourth version of the 4-1-2-1-2 guys. So I did that video guide at the beginning of FIFA 16, which went pretty well. Then I did a text guide around winter time, I think. It was around Team of the Year time. And then I did another text guide, I think around February. So that was the latest one. I'll leave a link to that one as well in the description below. But yeah, so this will be the fourth 4-1-2-1-2 diamond guide, basically. This is what I'm using currently and what I've been using for like the past month. So I thought I might as well make a video and share what custom tactics I'm using currently, the player instructions I'm using currently, and just give, I guess, a few pointers on what to look for in positions and stuff. But yeah, let's get started. So for speed, it's still pretty much the same. It's still on 70 speed. I haven't changed this at all for like the past few FIFAs actually. But yeah, I kept it at 70 speed just because I like the player movement to be quicker. And you guys know I like to attack a bit quick at times, so it just helps with that. It also helps player movement. If you're attacking quick, the player movement will be better as well. So I just kept it at 70 speed. Passing though, it's still also at 70. So you guys know I like to play a lot of short passes too, so I like to, play 1-2s and stuff like that and move up the field. But with the speed being at 70 as well, the distance between your players they won't be like right next to each other because the speed is at 70. So there'll be a distance between your players. You can hit those driven passes, and those driven pass gaps will open up as well. So usually you want to keep these two numbers together. Just because it flows better, but I mean, I like playing quick, but I also like having players close to me for passing, and I haven't had a problem with 70-20, so I've just kept this as is. The one change we have made, though, is positioning used to be freeform. I've changed it to organized. The reason I've done that is I didn't want my back four to go out of position in my half in case I lost the ball. So it just makes defending easier in case I lose the ball. And it just helps the build up, I guess, I guess there's less risk in the build up itself. To be honest, you could do free form. Again, like organized will restrict the player movement somewhat in your half with like your back four and stuff, and maybe even your CDM a bit, but I went with organized just because I just wanted to be defensively secure, and I felt like organized has actually helped my defending out as well. So I went with organized, and I feel like I'm going to keep it with organized until FIFA 17 comes out. But yeah, so 70, 20, and then organized. That is for build-up play. For chance creation, the passing is at 60. It used to be at 70. To be honest, there's not much difference between 70 and 60, I think. But I just dropped it a bit just to have players not make too many runs off the ball, just so I'm left without passing options and stuff. Like, I don't do a lot of through balls this year just because through balls are hit and miss. And if I do, usually if a player is on the run, I'll usually do a driven pass over a through ball as well, just because there's more control with the driven pass. Yeah, so 60 passing, again, your players will still make runs, but I guess not as much as they would on 70, but it's barely noticeable in my opinion. I just wanted to lessen the runs a bit, so that's why I dropped it to 60. Crossing is still on 20. You guys know I barely cross a lot. If you cross a bit more than I do, you could bump it to 40, I think, but 20 for me is a good number just because I barely cross. Shooting, I also dropped that as well to 60. It used to be on 70. I dropped it to 60. The reason why I dropped this to 60 is I feel like your CDM pushes up a bit too much when your shooting is high. So I just dropped this to make sure he doesn't push up too high up the field. I mean, he'll still push up just because like the stay back instruction seems to be a bit glitchy. So there's like not much you can really do to prevent him from pushing up. I mean, you could start your games on defensive or ultra defensive, but like I hate doing that. So I felt like one way I could make him stay back just a bit more is to drop the shooting to 60. So that's what I've done. And I actually have noticed him maybe not pushing up as much as he used to. So positioning, I still have it on freeform. Like I said, the player movement on organized can be a bit like restrictive. They won't be flexible in their movement. So freeform here helps a lot because your strikers will drift out wide a bit. Your cam will drift out wide a bit. Your center mids will sometimes make runs into the box and stuff like that. So I've just kept it at freeform just because it makes you more less unpredictable in attack. Actually, it just makes you less predictable in attack, and that helps a lot. So yeah, so 60, 20, 60, and then freeform for chance creation. The defense, though, we have made changes here. So we have dropped the pressure and aggression to 50-50. The team width is still on 40, and then the defender line is covered. So I dropped pressure and aggression because I made some changes to instructions, and if I kept the pressure 70-60, which I did for a while, I felt like there was a gap in the team, which made my defending, it made it harder for me to defend, and I felt like there was a good gap for opponents to hit with like through balls, during passes, or even just like sprinting with their own players through that gap. So it felt tougher for me to defend, and I felt like the team shape on the field wasn't right, so I dropped it to 50 for pressure and aggression. I've noticed that the entire team now is more compact, so that's the reason why I've done it. I'll show you what I mean by instructions later, though I have a feeling you guys already know what changes I made in that regard. But team width, I have it at 40 as well. The reason why I haven't upped this at all, I don't mind giving up space on the wings as long as the middle of the field is like congested and narrow. Just because people rarely cross it in nowadays, so I felt like it's just, for me anyways, I prefer giving them space out wide compared to giving them space in the middle of the field, so I just kept this at 40. But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much the custom tactics I'm using right now. Currently, I've been using this for a month now, and I've had good success with it, so I'm going to keep it like this until I notice any changes that affect me in a negative way. I might change something again, but I'm keeping this for now. I've played well with it. If you guys want to set up your custom tactics, you can do it through the player friend squad. That's what I do. It's quicker than challenging the team of the week to do it. Once you back out of Ultimate Team, though, you have to set up your custom tactics again, just because you can never like permanently save them this year. I hope EA fixed that for FIFA 17. But moving on to the main team, I guess currently it's still pretty much the same as the last time you guys saw it. But I guess I'll go over what to look for in each position if there's something else I've noticed, and also I'll go over the player instructions and then just general tips as well with the formation. For goalkeepers, like, it's all pretty much personal preference. For me, I like using goalkeepers with long throw, just so it helps with counterattacks and stuff like that. So, like, I'd recommend a keeper with long throw, but, like, you don't have to use a goalkeeper with long throw. And, like, in terms of chem styles, I guess, with we now knowing that that they actually do something, like, I honestly didn't think they do anything, but, like, chem styles on a goalkeeper, I'd say glove is probably the best one. I mean, you can mix and match and see what works best for you, but I think glove on goalkeepers is pretty much fine. For the fullbacks, though, I like high-medium work rates, high, medium. It just feels weird for me, like, their player movement feels a bit awkward. You could do high-low, but I wouldn't recommend it unless it's Alves, just because I think Alves is amazing this year. So high-medium work rates, I think, are best for your fullbacks. I'd do Shadow or Anchor for chem styles. You see I have Shadow on Alba and then Anchor on Danilo. So high-medium work rates, I do high pace, like over 80 pace if possible, even over 85, just because a lot of people use fast strikers or fast wingers, so you need pace to combat that. In terms of your center backs, though, I would try to make sure their work rates are a bit close to each other. I know I kind of contradict myself because I'm using Ramos and Barzagli in one team, And their work rates are like high, medium, and low, high, I believe. And I do want to change that as well. I'm thinking of ways to change that center back pairing. But yeah, I try to make your work rates close to each other. So like Naldo is high, medium, and Boateng is medium, medium. So I wouldn't do like more than I guess 2 difference in work rates. So I wouldn't use like a high, medium center back with a low, medium center back, for example, just because there might be a gap in your defensive line. So try to make sure their work rates are close to each other, like try to match them up as well if possible. In terms of pace, like, I mean, the more pace, the better in your back line, but it's like not a necessity, I suppose. You could manage fine with 1 center back, I guess, below 70 pace. Especially if your defending in general isn't like an aggressive style. Like, I defend pretty aggressively, so that's why I have two quick center backs. But chem styles, I would just do Sentinel or Anchor. You could even do Shadow as well. CDM, I guess, pretty self-explanatory. Just try to find a CDM that can do it all. So that's why I went with Vidal. Like high, I think is the best work rate in my opinion. So I try to get Vidal, Marquisio in there if you can. Even Ramirez is incredible in this game as well. In terms of player instructions, though, I should probably just cover that right now. So I have the center backs on default. The fullbacks are on stay back while attacking, as you guys can see, and then the CDM is on stay back while attacking as well. In terms of what to look for chem styles in the CDM, I feel like you can do like loads of them. I just went with Catalyst to improve his pace and passing a bit, but I mean, you can pretty much do anything with your midfielders. Just try to, I guess, improve their weak points, just because we now know chem styles give a pretty decent boost to stats. So just maybe try to improve their weak points. Or, I mean, you could even improve their strong points even more just to make them that much better. But center mids, you guys know I like using 1 quick center mid if possible. So that's why I have Robin on the left. Both center mid instructions are on default though, so I wouldn't do anything to that in my opinion. I'd keep them on default. I feel like their movement is best on default. In terms of work rates, I think high medium for both of them is best. High low is okay if your player is amazing like Robin. I would not use medium low work rates or medium high work rates. If you're gonna use medium high, I'd use it for your center defensive mid. Again, in terms of chem styles, you can pretty much do anything with your midfielders. Try to, like, you can decide if you want to improve their weak points or their strong points. I'd always use a left-footed player on your left center mid and then a right-footed player on your right center mid, just because of those like cross-body long shots that are pretty effective this year. Again, you don't have to do that. I just think it'll be beneficial to your success. But I mean, if you have success using someone like Modric on the left and then Robin on the right, I mean, I'd do that. So just use what works for you, but that's just what I recommend. For the cam though, instructions are again default. I feel like their movement is best that way. They'll still make runs into the box and, they'll still be pretty close to your strikers for counterattacks as well. The kind of players I like at cam, I guess someone like Suarez, good all-around stats, good physical, good stamina. Usually I like my entire midfield to have more than 70 stamina at least. I do not want to use any midfielder with below 70 stamina just because I feel like, again, I mean, it kind of depends what style you play, but you guys know I play an aggressive style, so like I'm sprinting a good amount, so I need my players to have high stamina. But yeah, so attacking midfielder, again, kind of use who works for you. Like, I like Suarez. I got Suarez a lot just because he has good stats all around. I have Team of the Season Lacazette in my other team, so you could use someone with good pace and finishing there as well. You could use Ibra, like, wouldn't be a bad cam, but like for me, Suarez, Modric, Lacazette, Mertens, probably like the best options at cam. But yeah, so instructions on the cam are default, and then moving on to the 2 strikers, I've got Team of the Year, Neymar, and then Messi, so I have them get in behind and press the back line. I have them press back line just because it helps you win the ball back quicker if possible, and then get in behind just to to make for them to make those runs, and then they drag defenders with them. So you can either hit them with the through ball or driven pass, or you can utilize their runs as a decoy to progress your play in the final third. I mean, they drag defenders usually with them, so it'll open up space for you to exploit potentially somewhere else. In terms of what players here, like for me, I like using 2 quick players, so 85 pace or higher. They need to have high agility and high balance usually as well, just because I prefer like silky smooth players up top. So like Neymar and Messi are like the perfect duo for me. In terms of chem styles, again, you could pretty much do whatever you want. Like I have Hunter on Messi just to increase his pace and shooting even more. Neymar's stats are like pretty much maxed out, so I just put finisher to increase his shooting a bit more. And then to increase his strength a bit more as well. He's a bit weak, but like his high balance and high pace kind of lets you get away with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the instructions I'm using currently. Chem styles, like I said, I feel like for the back 4, you should always use Sentinel, Anchor, or Shadow. For the rest of the team though, like it really depends on the player. Like you could try to improve their weak points or try to improve their strong points. It really depends what you want to do. General tips I can give, I suppose, for this formation. If you use it in head-to-head and then in Ultimate Team, like if you use the formation like constantly in every single game you play, you'll get the hang of it and you'll play better with it just because you learn like the ins and outs of the formation itself. Other general tips I can give, driven passes, I would always recommend them over through balls when your players begin their run. Like at the beginning phase of their run, I'd always do a driven pass, unless there's like a good amount of space in behind, then I do a through ball. But yeah, be sure to know when to utilize driven passes, like medium range passes. If you're gonna play it on the ground, I'd always do a driven pass, just because like normal ground passes are prone to interceptions. In terms of skill moves, like try to get the hang of ball rolls, body feints, not the 90-degree body feints, like that reverse body feints. Ball rolls, body feints, like first time fake shots, just be wary if the pass is too heavy, because then the fake shot afterwards is going to be heavy as well. But yeah, ball roll, fake shot, no touch dribbling, reverse body feints, feel like those are the best skill moves to do. And the 4-star scoop turn this year is pretty amazing as well. Skill moves I wouldn't do. Ronaldo chop I think is pretty useless. The spins I think are all useless except for that 4-star spin move. But that one is a bit inconsistent, but like the Burba spin, the Mikiti spin for me they're just too slow. In terms of finishing tips, like in the box, I always say near post finesse if you can. Outside the box, like long shots, power shot to the far post, like across the body shots. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much the end of this video. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comments down below. I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about. If there's something I missed, though, let me know. I could do a part 2 of this video this week if you guys want me to. But yeah, let me know if you guys like the video. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. As always, feel free to comment what you guys want to see in future videos and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. So yeah, if you liked it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And thanks a ton for watching. And I will catch you guys next time.